Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show, and I'm here on my journey of trying to get my business off the ground in this eBay world, making $2,500 to $3,000 a week in income. I've been selling for 22 years, but for the last 12 to 15, it's been in the wholesale business model. And I'm going to tell you, my husband and I have been doing this as our sole source of income since 2017, and it's a lot. The wholesale business model, it's a lot of moving parts. You're very heavy in the product world, and we're looking to retire in 2 to 3 years. We want to, go into a partial retirement, and I really loved my roots, which was shopping like yard sales and state sales and things like that. So I feel for me, I want to get into my retirement, and I want to be able to do this income, like I said, about $2,500 to $3,000 a week. My goal is to sell between 10 and 15 items a day. I have a net profit of $20. And by that I mean I've paid all my selling fees, I've paid for the item, take the product cost out of it, and I'm left with $20. So if that's something that you're thinking maybe what you would like to get into, or maybe you are doing some of this and want some inspiration, this may be your channel. So today is September 4th, and we're kind of starting a new season here in southern New Jersey. It's amazing that like Labor Day happened 2 days ago, and it's like a switch flipped. It's just so much, like even overnight the weather got so cool. It's like, wow. And you may say, well, Kristen, what though does this have to do with, I thought I got in here for eBay? Well, I'm going to tell you. A lot of the businesses locally are switching over to the pumpkins. They're getting into pumpkin spice. They're getting into, mums. So, I guess if you're in a you're out there sourcing, this may be a good thing for you to go look and have some discussion with local businesses. Maybe there's product that you want to pick up. Personally, that's not for me, but, I look around and I do see that there's like that opportunity. What I will tell you is it's like insane for sales this weekend. So what I have going on, I spent this weekend, I'm doing a special episode on getting my inventory to be, organized and noted and, assign SKUs and locations and stuff. And I'm telling you, just watch that, because I've been doing this for, like I said, 22 years, and I'm still like surprised with like things when they happen, when you actually like start touching your product and you're like, it's too much to get into right now, but watch that episode. It's like, wow. So then I also started to try to I use Flipfies for my record keeping. And I'm going to tell you, like, our wholesale business is going nuts. My poor husband has been out there, like, just living in the shipping department for 2 days now, trying to get everything out. He did, but getting everything out yesterday for the Labor Day sales were good, really good. So, God, you get to that point where it's like, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so the sales this weekend are really good, and I'm torn because, I started to say was, I started to try to get the record keeping in where I made off-platform sales, because the only thing that Flipwise monitors is eBay sales, and they do it very well. It's very quick, it's very easy to learn. But I've had a lot of sales that I make, I've mentioned before, is I use the Facebook Marketplace, not the marketplace itself. And I know it gets a little confusing, and I can maybe do a little short about that. But I'm talking like the groups on there, and I use them for selling. And I got to get them into this system. And I've been spending this weekend doing those two things and not listing. And didn't I just find out that my bookkeeper, who I made a comment a couple of months ago in an episode that I had a really good conversation with her, she's still noting them in my wholesale business model. So now, basically this means I've got the sales in twice on my personal return that this is going to happen. So now I'm going to have a meeting with her to unravel all of this stuff that either she did or I did. And either way, I've mentioned before, I hate wasting time. And truthfully, I get audited on her bookkeeping fees, on the amount of time that she spent. And I really thought we understood she wasn't going into that PayPal account anymore. So I don't want to be that person, but I may just have to change the log on, so she's not able to get in there anymore. I don't know yet. I thought we were on the same page. So we will have to solve that mystery this week. I love my bookkeeper, don't get me wrong. Her and I have some great conversations and everything else. I love her. But just gotta make sure we're on the same page. So that's one thing I gotta get done this week. And then, like I said, I still have a carload of stuff. I mentioned like my penance is that I don't take the stuff out of the car until I list the stuff and this stuff can come in. And I'm gonna tell you, like, I took the car to the car wash. I was trying to clean it up. My car had, like, I mentioned several episodes back about these mice and these cat figures were in there, and I saw it said like the box had like literally like disintegrated, and it was just paper from the cats that kind of meshed together to make the bottom of the box. And there's been like remnants in my car. I mean, I didn't even take them out to vacuum the car because this is my penance I mentioned. So I have not that much. I got goodwill stuff in here too, so on my defense for that. But I need to get this stuff listed, and today is Wednesday, so I need to get home. I just finished some stuff for the wholesale business. I need to get home. I got to get this stuff listed because I put several things in those Facebook groups, but I never put it on eBay. So now it's been through a couple posting cycles. It needs to get over to eBay. Then I can move on to the new stuff that's still sitting there because I still have a bunch of strawberry shortcake stuff I got. I still have some of that Fisher Price stuff that I got at that one sale where I said I needed to be fired because I think I made like, I think I spent too much money. And then I got like, it's not a ton of stuff, but I did get some. And yeah, so that's like today. I have been looking at the Facebook Marketplace. There is a ton of estate sales. I mentioned in my area, I'm at the Jersey Shore, and I've been on the estatesale.net, and I'm going to tell you, there's got to be 20 demolition sales coming up. If you're not familiar with what demolition sale is, maybe you don't have them your way, but we have a lot of them here. It is the people who've bought like the $1 million home down at the shore that doesn't really care for the style, or it's out there, whatever reason. They have demolition sales where they'll knock the house down to build the $4 million house. And these demolition companies will do these demolition sales where you can come in and buy everything from the toilet to the cabinets to the railings on the stairs to the rock and plants in the yard. I'm telling you, everything is up for grabs. And I kind of looked at them trying to see like if the dishware, silverware, glassware, pots and pans, I mean, sometimes they'll have like really nice pillows and things like that. But I'm going to tell you, and I've said it again, and I'm going to keep saying it, is whoever is the person hosting this sale that posts the pictures is going to post pictures of what they see as the value of these homes. So this is a demolition company. These are homes. That's all they're posting, is all of the stuff that is hardwood floors, ceiling fans, doorknobs. So I don't get a whole lot of pictures for that. And truthfully, most of those homes are going to be an hour for me to get to, and I haven't been that slow yet that I want to go, and I wasn't going to go before this because I told you they just, like, the traffic is crazy. So those are off the table. There is 2 I mentioned before that were like to the east of me, and then there was one I thought was the same day to the west of me, and I wound up re-looking at things and I'm mistaken. The one to the west of me is actually on Saturday. So I was like, oh yes. So I was going to go to the 2 to the east. That's my plan, until I realized the one I was really excited about going to is the one estate sale that I went to several episodes back where like they had a bath mat, at least a rug that looked like it was a bath mat, for like $8 or $12 or something. To me it was worth like $1. This company was like willing to negotiate, and it was like a 1-day sale. I got there like afternoon, and they were like, well, come back after 1 or 2, or, you know, they wouldn't negotiate. The prices were nuts. So I kind of took all the air out of the room when I saw that they were the one holding because I kind of had everything laid out where I want to go on Friday. Now I'm rethinking, but I'm still going to go, but I think their prices are just going to be like nuts. So maybe it'll get me in and out faster, but they are doing a 2-day sale, so maybe I'll go back the second day. there's the second sale in that same town on the same day. They had some stuff, but again, they didn't show a lot of smalls. I guess I'm looking for small stuff, so I may find some stuff there. I don't know. I had my plan. I was going to go to that one that is to the west of me Saturday morning, but now I'm finding there's a 55 home sale. It's like a kind of like a higher bracketed like income group community. I think they have a golf course there too, and they're doing a community sale with like they're advertising 55 homes. And I'm like, I had my plan. Now I don't know how I'm going to do this because that 55 home community is kind of over where those two sales are that I want to go to on Friday. And unfortunately, there's probably an hour of traveling time between the one that's at the west, and that's only happening on Saturday. And I contacted her just to say like, hey, are you still having it and everything? And she was like, yeah, she said, everything's going to be 10 cents above. It's a 2-story home that's packed, and make sure you bring lots of bags. And I'm like, because I saw a couple things already in what she's posted that I want, and she's not going to be there any earlier. This is when I said that it was paraprofessional. I guess what I should have mentioned is I think she's paraprofessional in the sense of doing estate sales. I think this is a professional in the like social work aspect and is helping do these sales for people who need to get rid of their, estate because they've passed away, or they're going into a assisted living and they need to get rid of their, their stuff. So I'm kind of torn. That's where I'm at so far for this week. So the goal is I need to finish all of the stuff for the inventory. I'm down to just these 2 shelves left. I will get that done. I've got to have the appointment or some conversation going with my bookkeeper. And then I need to really kind of put together a whole plan of Friday and Saturday. And there's another one in here that I didn't mention that was happening on Saturday and Sunday that's selling a lot of Lennox and Longaberger, which is usually, if you look at those things, they're kind of saturated in the market. But this particular sale has some very desirable pieces from that. But they're also the one I went to that had that very artisan pottery and stuff. Like their bowls were actual pottery. They're mixing bowls in the kitchen. And they were very, very highly priced on all their stuff. I think I only got silverware at that sale. So I'm planning to maybe hit that sale on Sunday when prices may be more reduced. So I may wind up having 3 days over this weekend. Had some really good sales between this weekend, which would be from last week into this week. So I will really have to do some really thinking about like what I'm going to be going to this week. I am off for my first sale. It's 5:54. Yeah, it's still dark out. So I just pulled up, and this is the house. And unfortunately, there's no sign-in sheets or numbers to take. There's nobody else here, so I'm first. I was kind of hoping there was a sign-in sheet or something. I did have a storm door, and I looked in there, and there wasn't anything. I was hoping because it's a really good bagel place down here, and the Starbucks I know is not far from here. So I guess I'm just going to take a little nap. So, wow. I completely forgot to take the camera in and record in the first yard sale or estate sale. I don't know what I was thinking. Honestly, I got there, I want to say a little bit after 6 and sat there till probably about 7:30 when I kind of dozed off and somebody starting their car, I guess to go to work or something, woke me up. And not too long after that, another vehicle pulled up. Like I said, I was the only one there for a long time. And then this Dodge Durango pulled up and they sat there and I was like, oh, good. Because, to me, the longer I can just like recline in the car, the better kind of thing. So they weren't like in any rush to kind of get out. And as I mentioned, I had gone and looked. There was nothing to sign up on for a list. There was nobody there yet to give out, tickets or anything. So it was a little bit before 8 when another car pulled up behind me, and then almost immediately somebody kind of came out from behind the Durango, because it was me facing the Durango. And that guy got out and went up to sit on the porch, and I was like, oh, now that means we have to get out, because we have to kind of like claim our spot, you know? So we got out. Actually, I was on my way to go up there when the lady in the Durango stopped me, and she was asking, she's like, well, what time does it start? Well, this guy does do a very good posting of stuff on Facebook, but he does it under like personal stuff, so you almost don't recognize. I knew because of all the photos, but most people don't recognize that they're the same. So I had to tell her it's like starting at 9. So her and I chit-chatted for a while. We went up on the porch, and not too long after that, like right around 8 o'clock, the people holding the estate sale pulled in, and they were good. They came out pretty quickly, gave out tickets to whoever was there, and there was, thank God, there wasn't any arguments. Like I was here for, no, everybody was very cordial about it. I did get to be first, and so then I was debating about leaving, because we had, like I said, an hour, and it was like he said, I confirmed, I said, you don't start any earlier? And he says, no, we start right at 9 o'clock. I said, okay. So I thought about going to get my Starbucks and stuff, and I thought, I was parked like right up front. I'm thinking, I don't want to give up this spot, because it was one of those really tight roads, and there wasn't like a ton of space. Actually, there was just one house to the right, and then the road bent and went down. So I was like, I don't want to give up my spot. I told you I'm a queen. I don't want to be bothered like with all that. So we stayed and we chit-chatted, and by the time they let us in, there was probably a good 20 people there. And I'm going to just tell you, this house, there was stuff everywhere. And I mentioned, like, I think I mentioned last week, was I kind of had this decision to make, was like, do I kind of go to the southeast of me and hit these 2 sales, or do I kind of like head to the west of me and hit these other 2 or 3 sales? And I went this way because I had termed this house to be the Barbie house, because there was like a boatload of Barbies in the picture, but there was also a lot of pictures for Christmas, but he wasn't really like pulling the stuff out for you to see. And he told us that before we went in there. He said there was a lot of stuff here. He goes, I don't think it ever, when it came in, I don't think anything's ever left. He's like, it is authentic mid-century modern. And I'm like, I believe it. And I mentioned before, like, I had like a ton of stuff from McDonald's, like back when McDonald's like really gave prizes, and they gave like collector's glasses that were real glass and stuff. They had these trays with like an indent for the drink for your lap with the McDonald's characters and stuff on it, and like they were still sealed. They had a lot, and I mean a lot of different types of things. One was a very ornately done picture. It was almost sculptural, of the Last Supper, and it had a very decorative gold frame, metallic gold around it. And I saw somebody walking out with that, and I asked the one gentleman, I said, I'm curious, what did they charge for that? And he said 40. He says, but I do believe it's sterling. And I said, really? So I'm hoping he's not going to melt it down, but it was very, very beautiful. There was just a lot of rooms. Like if you looked at the house from the front, there was, like, I would assume a rec room, a living room, the foyer, and then another like living room. And then along the back, the foyer, when you went right in, went to a kitchen, there was dining rooms like on either side. And that third one that was all the way to the left, that went the full length. That there was just tons of space downstairs. And when I tell you, they had things everywhere, tons of jewelry. I mentioned, I don't know, but I'll mention again, is I collect these things called Charity League pins, and they are they're handmade, they're very beautiful. They release one every year, and this Charity League organization unveils it, and you just get that one, and they do one every year. They've been doing it since the 40s. So I'll put some information about that at the end, but I went there specifically looking for them, and I'll talk more about that at the end. And there was the Christmas stuff, but again, I didn't know what to expect for the Christmas. So I'll show you what I got, and then I'll be back. I'm here for the second estate sale. It is now raining. This is the house over here. So I don't expect to find too much. The photos were very minimal though. There's only maybe 30 in the whole thing. So I will be back once we have some good stuff. Starting in the garage. Oh, an artificial tree. It's not a tinsel one, is it? I don't think so. Lawn bowling set. Never heard of that. Formal snack set. Maybe it was a snack and sip. Or sit and smoke, or whatever that one was. No idea what they are. And lots of tools. This is interesting. It's the Princeton Gallery. Debbie said it's full. I don't see a price. I'll eat.
Good morning. This is Bob Sept?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, oh, wonderful.
Hello, Bob.
That's old. Six doesn't lid.
Hey, Bob.
How you doing?
Wonderful. How about you? I'm so glad to see you.
Good. Going good. Good to see you. Let me see what else is here.
18 for a boy.
A lot of stuff.
38. Alright, I'll be back. They've done well, but not about that price. There's the creepy Santa. 120. He's kind of a creeper, isn't he? Wicker hammock. Kind of interesting, but I'm going to pay 24 for it. Let's see what's out here. I don't know what that is. $2. Looks like something maybe Jewish. I think there's going to be much here. Oof. I don't know what the kids are. This is, I guess. $2, I guess isn't too bad. trying to figure out which way you were going. It's cute, but I don't know if I want to pay $12 for it. Looks like somebody used it as a bird feeder.
Stuff. Oh my gosh.
I just thought this is interesting. This is the back side. Charging $4 for that. That's kind of interesting.
Beautiful.
That's interesting. Who makes it? Let's see, price 24. Oh. That's kind of interesting. Get my bag together. Pick that up. That's interesting. This is the straw stuff. If there's only one of her, I don't know that I want to pay. No idea what that was. He's interesting for $1. Interesting if there's only one. This is like a teacup or something. Oh, this is part of this little, but maybe it's mass produced. Yeah, I thought it was handmade. I don't see anything else of any kind of being original.
I'm just gonna put it on.
He looks like he's Hallmark. Actually, he is SCF. He's somebody. I don't know what. Taking him for $1. Oh my God. I don't know if I want to spend $6 for those. No. I don't know. It's like finding one shoe, I guess, you know. Maybe she was using it for crafting or something.
I can't read this.
These ones.
Does it say 12 or 4? Do you have a flush?
42.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow.
do these. There's another one of these over here. One miserly go. If I could find the last two. She's an angel tree topper too. Oh, wow. That one is his own. Detail set. Did I look at this already? Smashed house. The whole set.
We had one with a dog on it. It was like really nice.
Just like one figure. Oh. Oh, those little figures were cute. Oh, there's salt and pepper. They form a home. Look at what I have here soon.
Oh wow, this is beautiful. It's like I wasn't expecting this when it.
Oh yeah, you have the store.
Yeah.
That's right.
Joe and John's, the old 5 and dime, Mount Fuji's on the backside ones.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just seen you at the last sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're starting markets again in October, where it's every second Sunday of the month. And
My store's over here in
oh,
Somerset Point.
which one?
Junk chips.
This is their from Chester's. Just basically right across the street. awesome places in the area. Just wanted to do a quick little interruption of the video of shopping to show you the lusciousness of Hot Bagel. This is half of my bagel. That was $3.99. Not bad. If you are in the Northfield or Somers Point area of New Jersey, right close to Ocean City, Hot Bagels and More is phenomenal. Highly recommend them. So I will be back with more shopping. Right, so here's my car. Here's the bags I told you I was going to make a point. If you saw my video about being fired, I wanted very bright bags, so I did that. This is how I opted to try to keep these from banging together. This is the stuff I bought at the second sale, so we'll go through this. This, as I was looking at it, I believe it's got this sticker on it. I believe this to be a brand name. I will post when I find it what it is. I'm in a gingerbread loving group interest group on Facebook. Paid $2, but I think I can list this on there and get at least 10, and it'll just be something quick. This, I don't know, just kind of caught my attention. This is something that I may keep for myself and use as some display, but these certain wooden ones are very desirable, and he's kind of cool. These are very vintage. Oh, the geese are traveling. But the diorama ones, these are desirable. I'm going to try and sell these in a vintage group, but they're plastic, so to me, very little worry about damage. But this is my method of trying to protect my purchase, and this whole purchase are these glasses. I was surprised, I'll be honest. I saw them sitting there. I have never seen this ornate. Well, here, and I don't see any markings. These, I'm looking again, but it's not. These are from Arby's, like fast food back in the day. This is their White Pines or something is the name. I've got a boatload of wine. Then I have, these are more like a water goblet or something. These were $1 a piece. I see these selling for like four for like $25 or more. And then I got the lowball ones in here as well. I don't know because they don't have the gold rim. I don't know if they're the same or not, but I feel like they should be. And if I put them up at the same time, I'm looking now. They may not be because they have a house on them, and these just have trees. There's no houses in there, but they're looking very, very close, though, don't they? So I will have to package that back up again before we leave. Then the rest of the stuff I got there were. She gave me a good deal on these. These are like that fabric that you would get like as a vinyl tablecloth. I know these have to be vintage. There's just no way. They were supposed to be 2 for $1, and I said, well, I can't spend $6. And she's like, oh God, no. She goes, I'm going to just charge you $3 for them. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. This seemed really kind of funny to me. Still sealed. This old Hallmark. I'm looking to see if there's a date on it. I don't see any kind of date, but $2.50 for that. Here's my mouse. This is my mouse blow mold for $28. He's in pretty good shape. I'm going to probably try and clean him up a little bit, but can you believe they sell for like $70? And look at the paint job. He's not even that great. This was really nice. This is a vintage hand-done, as you can see the stitching on the back. I have a feeling this may have been from the Charity League at some point. It's a table runner because they do these as a side thing. Very vintage. I paid $20, but I can guarantee I'm going to think maybe the $75. This, I'm making stuff. I think it needs to be cleaned up, obviously, but it has a light kit in it. People seem to desire these smaller ones. This Okay, this is one of these things I've been trying to describe to different people. This is like a popcorn plastic, and I just noticed that. Damn it. These sell for between $25 and $30, but they melted them, and there's a piece missing. I don't know, maybe it wasn't there, and I flaked it off myself. But this was like what we decorated with when I was a kid, if you can believe it. This is a blow mold for some kind of a light. It's very flat. I don't know if there's a name. Of course, it looks like there should be something on there, but there's not. Now that I look at that, I only paid $1, so it looks like it's freestanding. Looks like there's something to it. There's 3 of these to the set. Kind of look ugly, but they're from Japan. So we shall see. I'm going to group them up to sell. I had a very small one of these. I think it's hand done, and I had so much interest in one of just these small ones. I don't know why. I'm going to sell this now just by itself. So people like to have the different sizes. Okay, I'm saving the ice bucket for last. They had a bunch of tins for $2, and when I opened this one up, it nests. I'm trying to do this one-handed, and that's not easy. Hold on. I thought that was interesting. I don't know how many of them are in there. There has to be at least one more. So I thought that was kind of cool. People like to have things like this where they can use them in decorations as a riser. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then my mid-century modern ice bucket. Look at this thing. Is that just too glorious? $10. And it has inside the tongs. Doesn't have much wear. There's a little bit of stuff up here, but otherwise this is in great shape. So that only thing left in there is just more of those little stuff. So this is my haul for today. It's not a ton, but I really didn't want a ton. Let me end this, and then I'll be back in the car to wrap up. So I was packing up. I thought, I should come back on. I have found it to be good. I brought these this week to be just these small miscellaneous tubs to keep small things like that in, and I've been very helpful about it. I'm leaving the blanket in my car now, again, just to buffer all this stuff. And I always have had this tub in here, and these are just my backup of bags. So this is a leg brace for surgery that's not going to be happening right now. But I keep the whole bag of bags so that I can keep things like this stored. So that's a tip I'm going to give you, is to always keep yourself as organized, different solutions. The boxes I was able to get there, but I probably should put some extra boxes in my car too. So I'll be right back. So now that I've showed the video for the house, it was really hard to kind of talk in there. This is another house that you just kind of were going in multiple directions. Like the garage, there was no direct access into the house. I was showing some of the stuff available out there. I question if it was different vendors, because they had like Debbie G or something written on them. Like they wanted them to be rung up separately, which is a little different to me. Things were kind of quiet, so I didn't want to talk kind of too loud. But the rooms were just not flowing. I don't know how to explain it. They maybe were added on later and stuff. The Christmas stuff wasn't, it just was kind of hodgepodge. I don't know how to explain it. And again, I wonder if it was different people's collections that kind of got added together. The one thing I bought were those like diorama looking ornaments. They didn't kind of fit some of the other themes. I did catch the one Santa that I think is a different name, and I think that is I've got the company in my head, and I'll have to do the research. I'll update it at some point. And I just find that people tend to gravitate, like they either have a lot of the wood ornaments or they have a lot of the older glass ornaments, or they tend to do the satiny or the handmade, or they had all of it. So that's why I wondered. It was just kind of weird. But their prices were very high as well. There was a music box that was there that I had looked at with Santa sleeping in a chair. I did research on that. That was only worth about $25, and I think they wanted like $25. But the nice thing was, I did show the one hamper, and there was one of the ladies that I had been talking to at the first yard sale where we were waiting to get in. She was purchasing in it, and I could hear her talking to another lady that was also at that prior sale, and they were talking about their booths. So I guess they have antique booths. And this lady was talking about putting in her booth, and I just commented when I went by, I said, you know, that really was nice, but it was just a little too high for me. They wanted $48 for it. And she's like, yeah, she's like, but for her, it's going to be easy because she doesn't have to clean it up or anything. And they were talking, so I think they're agreeing that it would be like $80 to sell in the booth. And for a hamper, and it was very ornate, it was, I believe she'll probably be able to get that. But like I said, it was just too pricey, and I didn't really want to be shipping something that big. So I went to a good parent, I went to somebody that's going to appreciate it for itself the way it is. And after I paid, or while I was paying, I did zero in, and those are the Charity League pins that I mentioned previously. That's what they look like. And like I said, she wanted $20 for them, so I was not even interested in them. But I left, and the gentleman that was the one when we were sitting in our cars, and then he went and got on the porch, and it was like, okay, now I got to get out of the car because I got, you know, there's this line's kind of starting. It was him, and I was kind of like having a little bit of a grudge because I was like, oh God, I got to get out of the car. Okay. He came running out of the house, and he's like, ma'am, and I'm like, yes. And he goes, you forgot something. And I'm like, I forgot something. Well, I forgot this in the house. It was the last thing I picked up, and yeah, I left it on the table in there. So I said, thank you. So it's just goes to show, be nice to people, and it pays off. Like I said, he was very quiet, wasn't really participating much in the conversation, but it's all right. He was a nice kid. So it is 11:15. I really had planned to go to, like, cross the state western wise now. Like I said, I left my house and kind of came southeast. I was going to kind of go back past my house to the next sale and then make a loop back home. But you know what? I have so much stuff still to list. I think I'm calling it a day. Tomorrow is going to be nuts, depending on the weather. There is, when I understand, a big community sale that I mentioned before. They're supposed to have over 55 homes, but that's an over 55 community, and I don't know about your experiences with them, but mine seems to be that they're not very well stocked because they've already cleaned out most of their houses. This is a newer development. They moved into them probably new, and there's not usually as much of a selection in these types of things. So that kind of just took all the oxygen out of the room there. My understanding is there is another yard sale. They put up a few pictures, but it was bigger things like their bed and stuff. They're claiming there's a neighborhood yard sale, and this is around the area that I grew up in, and it is a more upper echelon kind of community. It's the one I'm thinking of, and I don't know, it's a community that mainly have like 10-15 houses or something in it anyway. So I don't know what I'm gonna monitor the page for Facebook on that. And then my understanding is there's going to be one at the 4-H fairgrounds. Now, my sister's friend that only gets her stuff that's all she does is going to yard sales, and she does dumpster diving for food and stuff. I mean, so she's telling me there's a pretty good sale. So if she's telling me that, I would tend to believe it. I guess we'll see. But there is still the one that I found on Facebook where there were some very desirable things, and she's not going to be there until tomorrow. And that is in the other direction from where these are. So it's the same situation again tomorrow, where I kind of have to pick and choose where I want to go. There's another sale that has a lot of that vintage Fisher Price and stuff that is kind of grouped up with that other. So I'm kind of indecisive what I want to do tomorrow. I think I'm going to cut this off now. This is and part 1 for this week. And today is September 6th. I had all my dates mixed up this week. So I'm going to end this here. I'm hoping you're finding some inspiration out of watching what I'm buying, what my theory and thoughts are on some of this stuff, how I'm sharing some of the tips of what to do to prepare yourself. I will tell you, I tried to do some recon on the first sale I went to, and this house has not been sold, and I can believe it looking at the stuff that's been in there. I don't know that they've ever sold the house. I have a feeling they're the first owners and only owners. I couldn't find even like a Google Images, like when they go around the house and take video from their car, like thing of the houses. No, I didn't see anything of a street view or anything. And I was trying to piece it together again, looking at the color of the walls behind certain things and the flooring, and yeah, it was interesting. There was, like I said, just stuff everywhere as you went. So I hope you're finding some inspiration. Would appreciate a thumbs up if you are. Please subscribe down below so that my new videos will show up in your feed and it'll help me grow my channel. I appreciate your time, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.